Hello? Ah, what the heck was that, man? What the heck? Why was there no sound? Why was there no sound? That was very weird. I mean, I just had to plug out the USB cable and plug it in again. Okay. And I was talking for about 5 minutes already. God damn it. Do I repeat everything? It would be nice if I could just, if I had recorded that and could just play it now. But welcome everyone. Welcome to the stream now with sound. Maybe you could read my lips, but yeah. I doubt so. Okay. Great start for a stream again, but apart from that, everything seems to be working and seems to be flawless, but okay. It is fixed. Let's write that on a chat because there is a 3-minute delay, so that people know about it. Great. Okay. So what was I talking about here? Let's see. I was talking about the tournament format first of all, and also, yeah, let's quickly switch over to the tournament info, and you can see the top sponsors again of this tournament, which are Clan Harry or Hardcore Willers Clan Alliance, also Max Triggerman, who are the elite sponsors of this tournament. So thanks a lot to those two guys, or to those clans and Triggerman for sponsoring the tournament. But of course, every other donation will also be highly appreciated. If you still plan on donating, you can just see the Discord link below or donate directly to Wild Ones Helpers PayPal address, which is also to be found in the description below the stream. We just hit our 1k euro prize pool target, but we hope to get it even higher than that. It does not have to be a lot, and every donator that is willing to be shown will also be shown still in the final stream then. Okay, let's see what this tournament is all about. Schedule, as you can see, we are currently on day 5, so only 2 more days to go, including this one, 3. And all of them will be on stage 3. We are going to see the upper bracket and lower bracket round 1 today. Yeah, just have a quick look at the overall format here. We have already gone through the entire stage 1 and 2 on this tournament, and now we are in the stage 3. Just take a quick look. Upper bracket, lower bracket is where we are right now, and that is exactly what we are going to see today on this stage 3. Upper bracket, Jones versus Raid is our match. Meanwhile, Rolling Swarm will be showing Serenity versus Loka. I will then also stream the loser of Jones versus Raid against Ritty, while on the other stream there is going to be the loser of Serenity versus Loka versus Val. Ritty yesterday has beaten Val by a slight margin. Very close games. I've been able to stream them. Very exciting ones. And all of these winners from today, they will not play each other like today still, but all of these winners will head into day 2 of the stage 3. Just have a look here. The winners will fight each other, of course, tomorrow then. The winners of the first games. And the losers will then also, or the losers will drop out. But yeah, okay. Let's get to the game before I get confused here and tell any bullshit to you. Alright. Yeah, time to say everything again. I I repeated most of it, not all of it. I was too lazy for that. Also, time is running out now. Yeah. Jones almost ready. Do they have a new player? Or someone renamed? Dunda Panda? Who the heck is that? Okay. Okay. Rage Timo, also never seen that one. No, wrong scene. Let's go for this one first. All right. The games are supposed to start right now, so I hope you are ready. I am. Sound seems to be fine now. Yeah, I'm ready. Best of 7, by the way. That means 4 wins in total are needed in order to win this encounter. Let's see. Raid versus Jones here. Timo still being swapped out. Who do we have here? Like, I can only see Raid. Don't even see who's on the roster. Alright. First map, Black Goldville. Okay, interesting. I like the rotations that often happen on Black Goldville. Some people just hate this map because you can have some good spots from the middle, but also the middle spotting position is quite risky. Sometimes there are some fancy pushes like through the middle as well, but otherwise there are a lot of rotations like AC and pushes here, pushes there. Ooh. See a donation there. Thanks a lot, man, Triggerman. Thanks a lot for the dono. Okay, weird. Yesterday or some days ago I had a donation where like it was read out twice.
Triggerman donated 23 euros and 95 cents. Good work so far for BPC. Let's keep doing these streams, smiley face. Ella giggle.
Thanks a lot, man. I hope it's not coming twice because I still forgot to fix the donation sound. Sometimes it comes twice. Depends on where the dono was dropping in. Okay. Let's jump into the game. Okay, let's turn this. I want to just do one last thing here. Good. Let's move up. Alright, we do have Whoopsie in his object 907 moving towards the base C. Mouse also on the C side. The rest of BPS, I mean Jones, is actually moving towards A. And Raid mostly on base A. It might be problematic to Raid that they do have 0 decapping shots for B. They don't have C. That means Jones can possibly just quickly take base A and B and has to make sure that they do not die in this area. But they're already falling back here with Gussie Jones. Why is it laggy? Come on. Gussie Jones is already falling back here, still getting shot a little bit, losing even more hit points here. Oh, that's not looking good for Jones. That's absolutely not looking good for Jones, with the Raid already being able to focus out Gussie so heavily. But Gussie manages to get away on 1,300 hit points. That should be fine. And now the rest of Jones is also moving into the fight again. We're seeing the mouse here just coming in now. And Raid is all trapped in this little pocket of A, as they completely gave up the decapping positions of B. They gave up C. Obviously, they can't go for all the bases. Messi here going for the push. General will be the one to get focused on, but only one shot connects here from Falcon, and Raid is not doing such good trades. They still have a slight hit point advantage right now. I don't know if focusing General will be the right call here, because General is in the middle of the whole Jones team, and Raid is just running into the middle. Raid Messi actually the first one to go down here. General will also not survive for too much longer, and Jones is going for a counter push onto Falcon here. Going to take him out in a second. Object 3 will be the one to get the kill, while It is still a heavy barrel over here. Whoopsie in his Object 907, advertising for Wargaming a little bit, circling around Raid Naker and managing to put out this tremendous Russian medium DPM into the rear of that heavy tank. At this point, it is looking really well for Jones. They do have a lot more hit points, they do have more tanks on the field, and they do have double caps. There is nothing that Jones Raid can do about this at this point. Well played to Jones. Raid with their YOLO A strat would have to find one isolated target there to push onto. They managed to just delete a few hit points of the Gassio Jones guy that was in the rear still, but he was able to get out safely. So yeah, that A push not working out, just not like not such a tactically complex strat that would enable for too many different scenarios, I guess. Especially as Jones was well prepared for just taking whatever map advantage is possible to take. By having Object 907 on C, the mouse in the middle, they could just circle around the whole raid team and trap them in that very small area of the map where Raid desperately had to push out and did not really manage to do so effectively. But that was only the first game. We are still going to see quite a lot of them, and we can only hope for Raid to still make a comeback and get these games to be a little bit closer than the first one, maybe. We still have a few seconds left because there will be 2 minutes in between each game, minimum, maximum 3 minutes, so that players have time to take a breath, and I have time to do so as well, and can talk about the games or whatever gibberish a little bit. Jones maybe going for the same lineup again. They have also proven to like the 907 on the previous Blitz Cup quite a lot already. The 907, which it has been like released just before the last Blitz Cup, I believe, was a very preferred choice, a highly preferred choice for countering Vickers light tanks. It does not have the same DPM nor armor as a T-22 or other Russian mediums, yet it does have the mobility of a light tank. Does not have the accuracy. It is currently on shop. If you consider buying that, you cannot expect an OP tank, although it is fielded on this one. It is just like somewhat of a light tank, combining those treats-worthy Russian mediums. Traits, not treats. Okay, are we going to start now? I think we should be fine to go. Same map, obviously. Let's see what is going to happen on this one. Raid moving into the C corner. Probably one or two are going to stay behind to get some decapping shots on B. I remember that strat from playing with Raid back in the day. Yep, they are heading into the C corner, just trying to take this corner over here to get in the high ground and some good positioning. But Jones is not bothering about that because they are nowhere close to Raid at this point. Raid will take the cap lead as they have 2 tanks on C, while there is only Whoopsie in his Object 907 on A. B is uncontestable for Jones, yet Raid will be able to take it basically for free. No, there is still Ghosty over there to decap, yet Ghosty will not be able to do so consistently, but General is already moving in. Naro getting focused here, and Jones is not hesitating at all, moving into the fight immediately, catching those 2 IS-7s being quite isolated in the middle of the map. just in between the whole of Jones' team, while Raid still had enough tanks on C to have a disadvantage in the middle area. Oh! Ammo rack of Ghosty here, 1600 hit points, as if I've seen that correctly. That might help Raid. The hit points are close again, yet the gun advantage is clearly in the favor of Jones, but no, not anymore. Road School, though, about to get focused down here. Kiko still doing good move here of getting close, getting safe in behind this rock here. And it is 4 versus 3 here for Jones at this point. Hit points slightly in the favor of Jones again, and the gun advantage will definitely help as well. Augie about to get object 3 here. But Roopsy in his 907 will be incredibly hard to get for Raid, which is now also trapped in the middle here again with double IS-7s, and Jones having the high ground on both sides, being able to just focus down, crossfire these IS-7s in the middle here. Then Amorek almost turned around the game again for Raid, gave them a shimmer of hope. But it was not enough to win this one. OG just putting his gun up into the air. Nothing that he can do about it. A shot of salute. There he goes. Well played to Jones here. And that is the second win for Jones. Good early push here onto these IS-7s that were on B. As Raid was a little bit split around the map by contesting B and C simultaneously, with Jones having most of their tanks closer to the middle of the map. Only the 907 was still on A. And the next one will be New Bay. I already see one Concept 1B readied up there, and lots of 60 TPs and IS-7s on the side of Raid. We have already seen Raid lay the triple IS-7 strat. Is it going to be triple IS-7? No. Last time they had like the 60 TPs on the bridges, I believe, and the IS-7 side. We're seeing one mouse and the rest of Jones in IS-7, 60 TPs, Concept 1B. Might be that Jones is going with these tanks towards the bridges, with basically everyone except for the mouses that are going to drop into the middle. If the mouses are planning on going into the middle, the IS-7s will be able to move up the bridges right in front of them. Which might mean that the IS-7s have the mouses in the rear. But it is not going to be too important because, yeah, these IS-7s, I don't know if this is going to be the focused fire there. As Raid would maybe be able to make use of their mobility advantage to go for some better focused fire, some better push onto the top of the bridges. And the mouse might lag behind a little bit. We will see if that is actually going to be in that way, or if these teams have something completely different in mind. But I doubt so. I think it will be like some rather basic stuff which has proven to work out quite well in the past already. The new base strats have been like mostly quite similar bridge brawls with 2 or 3 tanks in the middle of the map. Sometimes, though, also some parked pushes are possible, of course. And yeah, we're seeing Raid move towards the bridges with the 60 TPs, IS-7s moving into the middle. Will then take this route here to get up on this bridge on the side of Jones. Jones not going for the middle at all, just taking all their forces towards the bridges, and S1K has already suffered quite a lot when crossing up here, or when crossing towards the bridge. has already lost about 1k hit points, and Jones could possibly just kill him there. But they do not want to lose the high ground. They do want to stay up. Now the IS-7s are rolling in here, but that might be problematic for Raid, because they will get focused quite easily, and they have a lot of tanks right next to them. Naked still trying to escape here, but getting blocked by Old School, as well as Raid Messi here is getting blocked by his teammate, not being able to escape there. OG pushing forward. Ghosty is the focus target here on the side of Jones, but it is not really looking too good for Raid here. They have already lost 2 tanks for 1, and they have lost a ton of hit points for this push, which absolutely did not work out here. Old School about to get focused here, as he is basically in the middle of everyone. The mouse is still very healthy in the fight here, just in front of everyone. And Raid tried to just... Raid tried to be faster with the IS-7s, yet that IS-7 push ran into nowhere. They just offered a huge weak spot for the Jones team, as they were just running right in front of them, while S1K was already low on hit points, could not really help. That meant 3 tanks from Raid being in front of 7 tanks from Jones, and only 3 more tanks from Raid being able to help a little bit, yet not enough for winning this game. That means we are on a 3-0 to Jones. At this point, they would only have to win 1 more game in order to take this one home and move to the next, not stage, but day 3. But if Raid will lose this one, they are not out of the fight yet. Raid can afford to lose this one. They will then fight against the loser of... Which one was the other? What was the other match there? Let me check again. It was Serenity versus Loka. Okay. And... no, the loser will play in the lower bracket, first of all. Okay. So, if Raid loses this next game, they will then fight Ritty, where their chances would maybe be higher than on this game. And they still have a chance to get into the grand finals later on, as you can see here. Loser will then play against the loser of the winner of each game. But we are heading into the battle again. Raid cannot afford to lose that many hit points early on anymore. Raid is starting with a total hit point advantage of about 400, which is not nothing. About 1 shot. IS-7s moving up the bridge aggressively together with the Concept 1B. A lot of shots flying to the other side of the map, yet not a single shot from Raid is connecting here. The IS-7s certainly having quite strong armor. This time the IS-7s are a lot more careful. They have learned from what was not working out for them, but there is a 3v1 here in the city, but they are fighting against the mouse. It will be the question whether this is the right option for Raid, because that will allow Jones to just push the bridge area here and take out these 60 TPs here. They are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 tanks against 4 here. And they have already cleared Falcon off the field. Naro had to drop down. Old School will still try to jump down the bridge, but that is not looking good for him. Mouse following him. 1 tank after another is dropping down here, and they will get some kills, that's for sure. But giving up the high ground as well, I don't know if that is the right call here, but so far it is really looking good for Jones. They have gotten 2 kills for losing 1. They have a lot more hit points. But now Raid is on top of the bridges here. They will be able to shoot down. Will be the question whether they can do enough damage to make up for the losses below the bridges here. S1K will not survive for too much longer. I guess, yeah, General will be the one to take him down. But General also one shot now. While Raid is still busy with the mouse over here. 2 guns against 1. And there is also still Naka left alive over here. He might be able to take out Ghosty, which would be really good for him. Bounces here. 2 bounces from Jones on Naka. Will he be able to take this kill shot? No, he is not connecting this one. And that means that there is absolutely no chance anymore for these 2 IS-7s that had to farm the mouse here. Messi and OG not giving up yet, but they are in a 2v5 here. Not having any more hit points. And although there are a couple of one-shots on the field for OG, he won't be able to get them anymore. Alright, well played here to both teams. Jones just showing a stronger performance overall. Double donut here on the side of Raid actually. These 60 TPs really getting focused down quite heavily. Not connecting their shots. Okay, but that means we do have quite a lot of time right now. Alright, we do have really... Okay. We do have a lot of time right now. I think what I will do is that I will just quickly analyze these games that we have just seen. But that is not going to take half an hour. So I will then also watch the other stream on this stream and allow you to see those games as well. But as the time is not enough to see them in their entirety, we can just do a quick skipping through and analyze those games a bit as well. I think that would be a nice idea, so that we can just still see both games. And you don't have to leave to see the other games. You can see all of that on this channel then. Okay, we do have like about 40 minutes actually until the next games are starting. Among writing, I'm just seeing, I really hate these meta tanks, want some more diversity. Yeah, I would have also wished for that, to be honest. Like, actually, before the 60TP was released, Wargaming made some balance adjustments that led us to have, like, basically the most balanced meta that we have had so far. Although autoloaders were still quite strong. Like when the E5 and the IS4, the mouse got nerfed, then we had such a well-balanced meta. Yet, yeah, a totally balanced meta would of course also not be too great, as it's not that interesting to just see people play the same tanks all the time, because there will still be like some tanks better than others, even if it's totally balanced. It does not make a lot of sense, but I guess that's actually the truth, and it will just always be the same. So Wargaming is just making some tanks stronger than others for a season or two, or update, and then it will change again towards other tanks. So yeah, the meta changes all the time. That's not too bad. It's actually quite a nice thing. But I would love to see like one time a really mute. I would actually love to see like a really well-balanced meta one time. That would be pretty cool if we could just see like really diverse setups and teams picking whatever and just playing around with everything. All right. I do have the stream opened. Okay. As you could hear probably, as I did not mute it quickly enough for the advertisement. So again, plan for now is just quickly have another look at the games that we have just seen to see like, or to quickly analyze them a little bit. And then we are still going to watch the other games from the other stream and still just going for a very quick analysis of those ones as well, so that we know what has happened here. Why is Raid always rushing? Yeah, those are mostly the Raid strats, actually just trying to go aggressively for one side before taking another side, because they hope to just have like a quick advantage somewhere and try to focus out a couple of tanks on one side. Those are mostly the Raid strats that they have had for quite a long time, actually. A couple of years already they are playing like that. Mostly it is the medium side that they are going for, and then take all 7 tanks there. If they find some enemies there, then it might actually work out, as they can then quickly focus down one tank or the other and have a slight advantage. But if the enemy is spreading out, like on this one, we can see that it is really backfiring here for Raid. It's really backfiring here for Raid to just go all for the A corner. And if there were some tanks further to the side from Jones, then Raid would be able to just kill them in no time and would have an advantage. If they were able to take out these tanks there, then it would be great for Raid. But like this, Jones is able to take A and B and just sit back here. Jones was quick enough here. Gasio still, almost got trapped here and almost got shot down. Raid is rolling in here. That was what the strat was built on this idea of just shooting down one tank. But like this, if we are pausing here, it is really not the best position for Raid to be on. Just have a look at the minimap here. Those Raid tanks are very close to each other. One tank still in the corner. Yes, of course, Jones also at the moment does not have the best map control, but they have the double caps, and then they can just spread out like this and crossfire from lots of different angles into the Raid team, so that it will be like very hard for Raid to cover quite well. So they would have to push out like either one side or the other. I would not necessarily agree on what they did here. That was just pushing into the middle of the Jones team. As you can see in a second here, Messi moving in here. They tried to just go for a spearhead push into the middle here. And that also meant that Jones was able to shoot them from lots of different angles, while they were just trying to shoot the front of General, which is of course bouncier than the sides. Even on an i7. But yeah, Messi here can just get focused quite easily. I don't know, it was not really working out in Raid's favor here. This strat from the start on. Second map or second strat. Let's move over, because this game was already decided at this point. We are not going to have a look at each and every single shot here. That's not needed. Absolutely. Why is Endgame not participating? Well, Endgame is not that active anymore at the moment, as I've heard. I don't know if they will make a comeback, but they have been on top level for quite a long time. They are not really training a lot anymore. They don't have the motivation to do so, and they can just the big seasons, take some prize pool, some prize money home. Mostly what they are interested in is what I've heard, the autumn season. That is what they are training for, and the other seasons are just like, they're just playing them. They still have good chances because they have such a good experience, but they will not play too often. And I don't know if they will come back. I think they will probably play again. Alright. Yeah, this one was all about those tanks here in the middle, but we can check the mini-map right now here. These tanks from Raid were pushing into B. They thought they would be able to get it for free. There was one IS-7 for decapping from Jones over there. But the problem here was that there are 2 tanks in the rear on Raid side. Here we can see those 60 TPs trying to gain or create some map control. Raid had in mind that they would just go take B and drop back, and meanwhile have the corner here and C, but they are very split. There are 3 tanks over here on C still. There are 2 tanks in the spawn. Those 2 tanks are in very aggressive positions, while there are 4 tanks from Jones right in front of them, and that is clearly not working out for Raid here. They have hoped for too much here and not calculated with that kind of risk. Although there was an ammo rack in a couple of seconds there, it was not helping. Yeah, 1600 ammo rack on the IS-7, but there was already a clear gun advantage to Jones. So let's get to the next game already. Actually, breaks were quite long, it felt like. And yeah, also like Raid doing the same strat they have done before was actually maybe not the best idea, as Jones was probably prepared for that. They have known about this strat exactly, if they have seen it already. They have just taken all their tanks to the bridges. Actually, one is still moving into the middle if we are checking the mini-map here. And yeah, these IS-7s here, just look at this. They are just getting focused so heavily, as none of Raid is really able to support here. They have like all the tanks right in front of them. And Raid has S1K in the back who's not able to fight there because he had to drop down below the bridges. Look at this. Everyone blocking each other as these IS-7s were just absolutely not wanting to be in that kind of position. Maybe they should not have moved up the bridges overall, or after all. Should have just stayed next to the bridge and yeah, just had to look for an option first before just moving in straight away, before even knowing what was going on. And S1K was still behind, as we could see already, as he already lost a couple of hit points. And next game, it was this game where Raid tried to adjust their strategy here by sending Loka towards C, trying to just cap the base, and then coming in from the side. They expected this mouse to maybe move up here so that they could then easily focus this mouse out with 3 tanks while the others were holding up the bridges. But in this scenario, I mean, it is always problematic to focus out a mouse. And with these IS-7s being that passive, Loka also being quite far away, they were not really able to quickly take out the mouse. An IS-7 gun is inaccurate and has low penetration. These tanks on the other side were quite aggressive on the other hand, while Jones had 6 tanks over here on the bridges, only the mouse in the middle, and they were fine with the mouse to get focused here, obviously. It was no problem for them to let the mouse be the focus target. They were fine with that. This mouse kept 3 tanks busy in that area, while Jones could then easily kill the bridge area in the same time that this mouse was not even going down, because Gassio is not just moving forward. Raid is now going for a push onto the mouse, as Jones already has enough information to take out those 60 TPs here. First one is out and the mouse has not even lost 2 shots worth of hit points, or maybe 2, yes. 1000 hit points gone on the mouse, while the first 60 TP is out of the fight on the side of Raid here. And it was not taking long for Jones to take out one gun after another. 3,000 hit points or 2,000 hit points more than Raid had already. And they could just steamroll at this point. Alright. As that was already the last game of our match here, I am not going to look at that even further, but let's just see how the other games turned out. Let's get to the other stream. Yeah, there we've got it. Let's quickly mute before the advertisement rolls in. Okay, it's muted. Other stream is still going on, other games are still live. So, but we will just watch without sound, so that I can just talk over it. All right. And it was yeah, Loka versus Serenity. Both of these teams splitting up a lot more than we have seen on the previous game. And look at the map control, both teams really not trying to commit to one side or the other too much. A lot of tanks here from Serenity in the corner, facing a lot of tanks from Loka in the corner. Interestingly, both of these teams have very symmetrical strats here. Although, of course, there are some more tanks over here. Kranwagen, very interesting choice. Also, very nice move from the Vickers to just get into the city. He could afford to do so, I guess. And Loka had not any light tank on the field, giving them an overall hit point advantage, yet they did not really have the position to push in here. I mean, they could do so somehow, but it was like, look at this advantage. There is not really a huge advantage here on the A side. Maybe a little bit Lemsa here getting focus bounces off him. Okay, let's turn off the subtitles here. No need for them. Actually, okay, it is still working out for Loka to push into Serenity here. The Vickers light tank on the other side not really being that effective anymore, as he could not help with a focus fire. He was just flanking around, taking out a 630p, I believe, or trying to. And Serenity was not able to keep up the focus at this point because they simply did not have enough tanks in the same place. Okay, we do have about 15 minutes for looking over those games, so we can't look at them like in total, but I still want to show what was going on and quickly try to, oh, that was already the second game, quickly want to show how these games were won or lost. Let's look at the first one still. On this one, oh no, it was Serenity. Right, Serenity. Okay, Serenity also with a very similar strat to what Raid did actually. Although having a Vickers light tank for getting some spots. But you can see also like Serenity having some tanks in the rear, some tanks closer to B and some tanks on C. Possibly offering a rig spot for Loka to push onto. Yet Serenity is a lot more careful about this actually than Raid has been. They are not dropping into B, and they are also lucky that Loka is just taking the A cap and not playing aggressively for the middle area. Otherwise they could be already pushing in, and I guess Loka still has a good advantage here for just killing those tanks over here, because those 6CTPs are very isolated, as well as the Kranwagen that does not have the best DPM anyways, and there's still some tanks on C. And Loka can't possibly just roll in here and take out these 2 guns there, these 60 TPs. And I think that is actually exactly, damn it. That's exactly what happened here. Loka could just afford to roll in here, kill those 60 TPs as they were very isolated still. Although they did have some backup and Loka definitely lost some hit points, finding such isolated tanks is still worth giving up some hit points in order to win the game. But Serenity, 3 caps on the clock. Serenity already had 3 caps here with the Vickers Light really offering the mobility. But I don't know if that is going to be enough for Serenity to win this one, as all of their tanks are just getting focused down and there is no one being able to hold up for long enough for the points to finish. Oh, Lemsa here getting shot down heavily. Yeah, there's no way that this Vickers is going to get away with the cap points here. Still trying to run, but not successful at that, obviously. Alright, next game is what we have already seen, so let's just get to the 3rd battle. New Bay then, again. Gotta quickly find the spot. Yeah, that's where it started. We can now compare quite well to what we have seen from Raid versus Zones. Actually, both teams look at that as if they were talking about it before the games. Such symmetrical strats again. Both teams sending 1 tank towards the heavy cap and sending the rest of the tanks towards the bridges. But Serenity is being a lot more careful, rather being in the middle of the map. But they are offering a big weak spot here to Loka to push onto, as there are 2 tanks isolated on the bridges. I don't know if Loka will be able to take advantage of that, but I guess that is going to happen sooner or later. Let's just skip forward a little bit. If Serenity is not able to help out those 2 tanks on the bridges, which we are seeing over here, those 2 are what I'm talking about. Loka could possibly have pushed onto them already, but no, it is actually Serenity just pushing the middle area, focusing down Sebo here, who's left on a 1-shot as a 1-shot, not able to survive for too much longer. And Serenity, really clever play here, not running into all of Loka just for getting this 1 kill shot. That's what shows that they are clever and very experienced players here. And actually it looks like Serenity is in favor of winning this one, as they can now also just clear the bridges. Well, it's very hard to call here who is actually having the total advantages. Tanks are dying everywhere. Hit points. Okay, hit points now getting to be in the favor of Loka actually. Hard to tell where this fight was actually turned around. It was not really visible on the screen here, I guess. Would maybe have to watch the entire battle there. Serenity versus Val in a lower bracket. Okay, Loka seemed to have won this one. And we still have about 10 minutes until my next match is going to start. So keep in mind, this is just replay right now, just so we have something to do. We will be able to see live matches quite soon. Oh, look at how Lemsa gets shut down here. Loka with a park push. Not often we are seeing that one, and not often we are seeing that one being that successful, especially not that early on. The Spitfires, he might be in a good position to pressure, but no, he might also be a huge weak spot here to push onto for Loka. Although it is a mouse, if they can take out this tank for free basically, then they will be fine to do so. What a play here by Loka actually. Pushing into the city, and Serenity still pushing that on. Where was Serenity pushing? They were pushing the bridges. Okay, it's not that easy to call for a game that you're not actually seeing. But hit points are like super close though. Let's see whether that was actually turning out quite well for Loka to get into the city here. Oh, Amorek on Jasio. Oh, that was maybe game changing at this point. I think it was, yeah. That was absolutely game changing. Loka losing their hit point advantage because of one Amorek here. But also having some RNG in their favor. But still, Serenity is going to win this one, that's for sure. Let's have a look at the next one. I don't even have to be that quick actually, because we still have about 5 minutes before the room invite. Serenity going for lots of map control on this game here. If you are seeing the mini map, while Loka is going for a strat like Raid would do, pushing C with all their forces, pushing down the Vikas who was boosted up here in order to make sure that they can safely cap C. But it is not enough to get the cap advantage to Loka. Loka will most likely just turn back, rotate to the spawn. Oh, Spitfire's losing a ton of hit points here. He did not expect that, it seems. This might be the last game for Serenity actually. Not looking good. Both teams decided to go for a counter rotation and push into the enemies, although Serenity did have the cap point advantage. They did not plan on just sitting it out and hoping for the best, but rather try to go for some kill shots there. Spitfire slightly missing the shot there, but Lego will be able to take him out. But Loka taking great control of the caps with the double cap pressure. At this point, Unitastic in the middle on B, maybe like a little bit too isolated, but so is Plat on the A side, which means both teams had a tank to push onto here. Really close games actually, really close games. Serenity really playing well here, although Serenity is a new team again. They have been winning the last Blitz Premier Cup already, but they have not played in the meantime. They are just, yeah, they were just getting back together here for this tournament to defend their title. Alright, that should be kill shot, and it should probably be a win to Loka here. Still hard to tell. Those games are like so chaotic. Also, maybe it is also because of the very close camera angles that Rolling is going for. More of that dramatic first-person view rather than keeping the overview in third person and with a bit more distance. I'm mostly trying to get something in between, but I don't like missing an important push or something. Especially for analyzing battles, it is a lot more helpful if you are able to just keep some overview. Well, actually, Serenity took this one home. Must have been up to, yeah, map control and focus fire in the end then. That means there was another game. Okay, okay. But we still have a couple of minutes. That was really a long break for this one. As the games were like that decisive for Jones. But yeah, we have to expect longer games like on this one, where all the battles are needed to have a winner in the end. And therefore the games or the breaks have to be a little bit longer. Both teams with some very passive strats here. Just look at this. Just look at those teams both being lined up in behind A. And yeah, just having like no caps at all. Very similar playstyle, really. But the Vickers Light, no, you won't be able to take the base. But Serenity does have the advantage on C. Which also means Loka has the advantage on A on the other side. And Loka will soon know about that and try to push A. They couldn't possibly just get A and B for giving up C. Just checking the minimap right now when Loka will go for a move. So far they have not enough information, but now the tanks are slowly starting to move. There is some movement on the minimap. But yeah, what is actually going to happen? Are they going to push into those campers? Because we can see on the minimap there's still one tank over here. And Loka could decide to push in, but this is a bait basically. This is a very strong position in the rear there. Actually quite a good one. I've not seen that one yet. Well, actually it seems like Loka was rather trying to counter push C here. Although not having enough tanks just yet. Let's just skip forward a bit, because our time is running out. It was the A push in the end, not really getting any advantage, and now they have found the camper going for it, but getting crossfired a lot. Lemsa though will not survive this. That's for sure. But will it be worth it to push onto Lemsa here and giving up the map at the same time? Look at Serenity just taking control of the entire map like that. That's the question here. Because both teams have basically lost one tank here. Both teams have lost one tank. And hit points only slightly in the favor of Serenity. Cap points definitely. Alpha getting focused down though. Next game is about to start, so let's just speed up a little bit. I'm not sure whether there will be another game after this one. I don't know who won this one. No, it will be win to Loka actually. Surprisingly, very surprisingly. As I did not have the feeling of Loka being that successful on this push into the rear there. Only the mouse, last man standing. Okay. Okay. Looks like it was a game for Loka on this one. I think we can already start the game again then. Alright. I'll be happy to go live again. Enough of watching at someone else's stream where I can have zero control over the camera, free cam, etc. I guess that's also not as interesting to you as if I would just be commentating live here. Okay, game is loading. We still have like a couple of minutes to go. And our next game is going to be Raid versus Ritty. 30B back on shop. Oh, still on shop. 17,500 gold. What is Wargaming telling us with this discount there? Just look at this. 31,818 gold in what world? In what world does a tier 10 tank cost that much? Minus 45%, of course, of course. Well, okay. That's not really what we care about right now. Raid versus Ritty is our next one. That might actually be very interesting on this one, because both of these teams tend to go for some very aggressive one-sided strats. Ritty, I don't know, maybe going for a bit more map control, but on the games that we have seen, they really liked one-sided strats. But sometimes they also had a Vickers light tank on the field, while Raid was rather going, yeah, full heavy. That might actually be an advantage to Ritty, and Ritty has done some really nice battles so far already. Since getting into this tournament only last minute through the qualification stage, after not having a full team and not even accepting the invite, which basically led to them having to play the qualification against other teams like TTT. No, it was not TTT. It was who was it? D1S? Yeah. Oh man, my brain. Good memory. We've had a qualification stage, and Ritty was winning that one, losing the first 3 battles in the actual tournament right after. They did not have a good start at all. But they made it into the actual tournament. And then they really got their shit together and started winning games. Won against Val on my last stream yesterday. Very close battles there, very aggressive gameplay. That's what Ritty has done quite a lot already. Sometimes very creative bait strats, as we've seen on the qualification stage, with like 1 IS-7 on Winter Malinovka, covered by 350 BS camping. Some very interesting bait strats, sometimes very aggressive gameplay. I really like the strats that they have shown so far. Raid mostly going to one side, which might mean that they run into such kind of bait and get farmed, or they get away with it and manage to take out the bait quite easily if the shots do not penetrate from Ritty. But they seem to have done better with the aggressive stuff, so it will be interesting to see. I think both teams definitely have a chance. I've seen Rolling had some survey. How do I do that? I can do that, man. I can put on a survey here onto the chat. let's see. Raid versus Ritty. How can I actually Raid versus Ritty, and I can select yes or no. Okay. No, that's not going to help. That's not going to help. Okay. Well, how am I getting rid of that yes or no? Never mind. Okay. I can have two options, it seems. I hope we're not going to see four options then. I've never done a survey. Oh, I don't even see the survey. What? Where is it? Raid versus Ritty. Yes, no, raid Ritty. Why could I not just delete the yes or no? Oh, we're getting into the battle. Okay, okay. Okay. Ah, we're finally live again. Nice setup. One mouse. Oh, quadruple I7, double 60TP for raid. While Ritty, they are going for that I7 position again. I don't know if it is worth going for it the third time. But Raid so far not doing any counter strats, but rather doing those one-sided pushes. But now we have the exact situation that I was talking about. We do have the bait against the push. YOLO push from Raid against one I7. Is it going to work out? That is the question here. Will Ritty be able to make use of this bait in the rear here? They will have to be very effective on dealing damage, but so far there is no one covering this I7 here, which is a huge problem. Maybe. Aiki is starting to lose some hit points here with the IS-7s rolling in, but that also means that Ritty will have an advantage on the other side, but it does not really feel like Ritty would have a good weak spot to push onto. They have a mouse in front, they have S1K in front. Falcon is hidden quite well. Oh, Falcon misplaying here, but peeking up. He should not have done that. He should have just stayed down and not allow Ritty to focus him. And yeah, Ritty can roll in now, kill those tanks, but I am not sure whether this one actually was a good trade. But seems so. The hit points are in favor of Ritty, although they are focusing the mouse now. Raid will drop in behind them though, with everyone. They are all going behind Ritty, which is just pushing out forward and avoiding the Raid team for quite a long time. Look at those tanks from Raid all being in the rear there, circling around the map, not really having shots for quite a long time here, while Ritty is able to just focus down this mouse here. That was maybe not the best option here for Raid to rotate back, although they certainly did not want to get trapped in the middle. It was just a very long flank that they had to go for in order to get back to the fight, and they were not able to put out any shots here for quite a long time, and now they ended up on a 4k hit point deficit, which is absolutely impossible to turn around for Raid here that late in the game with such few tanks left to play with. Only 2 I7s remaining, but they will not have any chance on this one. The bait has worked out. Raid was taking 5 tanks into the corner to take out 1 I7, and that was clearly not helping them win this game here. It did not really look like Ritty would have the perfect answer to this for quite some time. They did not really have the best damage output on the crossing tanks, as I7s at a distance are quite hard to penetrate. They did not have the best tanks to push onto. Yet Raid in the end had more tanks isolated than Ritty, and Ritty could focus a little bit better than Raid, which could only focus out one tank rather than 3. Some people voting no. Nice. Okay, people are not sure who to bet on. Raid or Ritty on this one. More people rather going for Ritty so far, but odds are quite even. I don't know, I would personally say like Ritty might have the chance to really surprise Raid. But okay, I also really gotta keep in mind that Raid might be able to take out these isolated tanks sometimes with pushes, as we have just seen. Although it was not working out on this one, I don't know. I think it could have worked out. I could not really see where exactly this was turning around in Ritty's favor. Maybe having a few more tanks to push onto, as I mentioned. But Raid seemed to be able to take out one gun for free, basically. And in theory, they could have then had a gun advantage. Maybe this move into the rear was not too perfect after all, but that's hard to call. Hard to tell what exactly was happening there, but it felt like Raid was needing a long time to get back into the fight. Actually, even amount of votes for each team right now. 42% for both teams. Let's say 50% because of the other votes. So let's get back into the game. Raid this time not moving to the A side again, but rather deciding to push into the C corner where they are going to meet the whole of the Ritty team. Ritty having a 50p on the field, while Raid is going for a very solid lineup of one mouse, quadruple I7 again, double 60 TP, the same one that they have picked on the previous game. With Ritty having this 50B now, which does not have the best armor, and some good shots into favor 69 on top of the hill here, which will allow Raid to push into the corner possibly. But no, Ritty is already counter pushing. They are not going to allow Raid to push into them too easily. And it is Raid Naker here getting focused heavily. Another shot flying in. He is getting crossfired from lots of different angles. The 50B now on a reload. Favor missing the kill shot, which means Dizzy has to turn around and get this kill still. And the Ad one on the other side also getting focused here. Ritty running into crossfire a little bit, but also OG and Messi might be able to take out quite easily, or might be taken out quite easily here for Ritty. Focus fire not really on point here. Alu losing most of his hit points, OG losing most of his hit points. It's still a very interesting game, but Raid does have the hit point advantage. Dizzy will be the one to take out the I7 for Evergreen, not even turning around. And the 50B is going to go down in a couple of seconds, tracking the I7 here, which will allow him to put out 2 more shots. Great track shot here. But it is a 4-on-3 now to Raid, and they do have a tremendous hit point advantage. That is basically impossible to turn around for Ritty here. The strongest setup turning out in Raid's favor here. That push just ran into all the crossfire, which was not all that perfect for Ritty in the end. Last man standing is Dizzy. Maybe still going to take out Messi. But that is not going to change anything. Not able to penetrate him, it seems. So it's just going for some damage. But that's it for Ritty on this one. Well played, Raid. just going for the safer strat here. The 50B in that corner, I don't know. I don't know. I think that 50B suffered a lot and was not able to hold up too many shots. But it's not been the 50B to get focused out too soon, actually. Rather the others here. Raid really doing a good job of trapping Ritty in a pocket here. And just circling all around the Ritty team. Which means we are 1-on-1 on the score right now. Middleburg is the next map. Most likely both teams are sending at least 5 tanks up, if not everyone. Often we are still seeing 1 or 2 tanks staying in the city to then decap A or B. And if the others notice soon enough, they could possibly just counter push the hill. That is what we mostly see, but this one is going to be different as I'm seeing Ritty's setup here. A very interesting setup. Double 50B and a bad chat on Middleburg. I hope that Ritty wins this, really, just because of their creative setup. Not such kind of boring setup of 60Ps and IS-7s. Although it is an IS-4 actually on Raid's side here. IS-4 not really the meta tank at the moment. Mostly it is an IS-7 that is picked over an IS-4. Forever Green being offline, not good for Ritty. I think Forever Green definitely one of their core players. And do they have anyone left in the middle? No. Ritty will have to wait for Forever Green. He is back. Good. I will be very excited to see how Ritty is going to play this. I think it will be a city push because the 50Bs are quite useless on top of the hill. And Raid might just prepare for that. They have seen such kind of setups already. They might be well prepared and just leave a lot of tanks down in the city to go for decapping base A. I think that is actually going to happen, that Raid is just leaving some tanks in the rear here. Or are they all going up? They're sending only S1K down into this little ditch here to decap base A. And it will be very hard for Ritty to take out this IS-7, but they might be able to take base A still. Will they be able to decap? Or will S1K be able to decap consistently? No, he is not. Let's see S1K's position here. He does have shots onto the A cap, but A has been capped. And Debated Rose will also be able to take base B. Those 60 TPs here having a very interesting position from Ritty. They are going to be a bait. There are some tanks facing them, but they are hull down over here. As you can see, like this, they are perfectly hull down behind this little hill. And if they are getting pushed onto, they will have the 50Bs and the bed shed right behind them. So that is not going to work out too well for Raid if they are deciding to do so. And Ritty does have the double cap advantage. It was not just a city push, but also a very nice bait here with a 60 TPs. And this means that Raid now has to do something about Ritty having double caps. And some very nice positioning here. Maybe Ike and Forever Green are the weak spots to push onto here, as they are quite trapped. They cannot get out too easily out of this little position here. If Naka, Messi and S1K decided to push in here, it would possibly be a win for Raid. But they are not deciding to do so. They are going for the bait, actually. deciding to just overpeak and shoot out at 1, which might actually work out, because if they are not just overcommitting and not all pushing in and just taking one shot each for focusing out those 2 tanks, they might be successful doing so in order to just focus out 2 tanks while losing hit points, not tanks, which will be a lot better for Raid. Messi here in a very aggressive position right behind Dizzy. There is nothing that Dizzy can do, and it will be about Ritty going for a move here, but they cannot hold base A. There was an Amorak even. I don't know for how many hit points, but now Raid has the double caps. Ritty was able to put out some damage, but as mentioned, they were not able to focus fire. They did not get any kills here. But now the AMXs are rolling in. Favor though on the reload already, not going to be able to take out Messi. It's not looking good for Ritty anymore. They have lost a lot of hit points, a lot of tanks. And even more, another 50B is down. Only 3 tanks remaining here for Ritty. There is nothing that they can do about this anymore. Was a really nice stretch, but it did not really work out as Ritty was too focused on covering the bait, while Raid was just overpeaking in a very clever way, not overcommitting, not allowing Ritty to focus out their tanks while being able to take out 2 guns there. Clever play by Raid here. I think Ritty could have possibly just given up those 2 tanks and counter-pushed the city, as there were still some Raid tanks in the city in the end. And if Ritty decided to push them with a 50Bs, they would have had better chances focusing out those 2 tanks there. I will have a closer look in the analysis part still after this game. But nothing is decided just yet. 2-1 for Raid at this point. But it is a best of 7, so Raid would have to win 2 more games. Ritty though can also still win 3 more battles in order to win this game. Interesting strat, yet did not really work out, but I don't think that it really was an issue of the strat here. We are just waiting for the Ad1 to ready up. Ritty still going for a 50B, which is like highly uncommon on Middleburg actually. But Ritty has gone for the 50B quite a lot actually on the previous games. We will see whether they are able to make use of it this time. Votes are dropping in for Raid here. It seems like we do have some more Raid fans on this one, or people simply don't trust the new Ritty team, although Ritty has clearly already shown some very nice games. Okay, can we start please? Yes, we can. Does Ritty still have the 50B on the field? Yes, they do. And the 50B is moving into the city again. Some blind shots are flying in. Nothing connecting though. Still worth trying, I guess. For Evergreen going very aggressively into base B, which might offer a possible weak spot for a Raid to push onto. I don't know if S1K will be able to decap reliably. Same play as last time. For Evergreen taking 1 HE shot of 170 damage, which is quite a lot. And Raid is immediately counter pushing here. But that might not be too bad for Ritty if they are able to counter push the hillside. But nope, they are still way too far in the rear to react to that. Which is absolutely not looking good for Ritty here. For Evergreen getting focused down so heavily. Losing 1,500 hit points in a matter of a second. There he goes. Still a one shot. But merely so. 360 hit points. Everyone on the raid team can kill him now. Except for the Concept 1B with a bad low roll. But it will be S1K taking him out without any problem whatsoever. And Raid is not going to play for the caps at this point anymore. They do know that they have a solid advantage when it comes to hit points and also guns on the field. They are deciding to just close the gaps here and move in to fight Ritty. Messi overcommitting a little bit. Good play by Ritty to counter push him. Some of the hit point gap is closed here. Ritty having some good positions, but I keep being quite isolated on top there. But that is not the preferred target for Raid. They're rather going for Skiller in his 60 TP. Actually, 2 guns out on the side of Raid already. Although there will be more kills for Raid. Ritty did a good job of turning this one around. They still have the 50B, quite healthy. And being able to reload his clip again. It might actually be that this 50B can still decide over the outcome of the game. If he is able to take out the IS-4. Oh, fire! 940 damage here. He will be able to put out 2 more shots and that will be it. Not connecting this one though. And I highly doubt that Ritty is going to win this. But it is not over yet. Not absolutely. If Ritty is able to focus out the Concept 1B, maybe. Nope. Just before the reload, Dizzy goes down. Was just about to put a last shot into Naka, which would have possibly allowed Favor 69 to kill Naka. Nope, actually, the hit points are too much in the favor of Raid here at this point. Three on one. And they will not struggle to take out Favor. There he goes. Another win to Raid. Well done. Ritty here overcommitting a bit on B and not really being able to react to that on time. Their team on the hillside just being too passive. Raid really reacting quickly here. And Raid only needs one more game. One more win in order to take this one home. And Ritty would be out if they lose this game. They would be out of the tournament. So it is all or nothing now. And again, we are seeing a 50B strat from Ritty. Too confusing. It's like Val, Vale, Ritty, Raid. Looking so similar as well. Damn it. Next map is going to be Yukon. Yukon, quite a new map. Yet the teams have played it a couple of times already. Ritty again going for a double 50B strat. They could often make great use of the 50Bs. But they were not necessarily game deciding so far. Here we go. Getting into the last battle, possibly, for Ritty in this tournament. If they can't focus now. Raid moving towards the heavy side with almost all their tanks. Looks like some tanks are going to push the middle or going to hold the middle here. while Ritty is doing the same thing basically, but for Evergreen, nope, he will not be going too aggressive just yet. 50 Bs in the middle here, or rather on the medium side, but very passive. There is no one of Raid on the medium flank just yet. Maybe Raid will decide to push into the middle with S1K and Falcon. They probably waited for a move from the 50 Bs here. They hoped for the 50 Bs to just push the middle and catch them with the IS-7s. And it looks like the 50 Bs are now falling for the trap. I don't think that the 50 Bs will be successful against those double IS-7s. It will be interesting. But the IS-7s also, they are aware that the 50 Bs are still missing. They are still raiding. Falcon now moving away here, but that might be just the wrong time to move. S1K about to get caught by the 50 Bs here. Will be the question whether they can get him for free, because S1K is moving out here just on time. The 50 Bs though ignoring him to counter push the other side, it looks like. And Ritty is moving in onto the middle here. OG the one to get focused. Alu also taking a shot, but it will be OG to get focused down first, I guess. One last shot and there he goes. Raid not having the worst positions to hold up this push at this point. Messi probably in a weak position here. It will not be easy for Ritty to push in here, as Raid does have some really nice hull down positions here. It will be about the focus fire. Aiki really getting into the middle, really getting focused out here. It is very close. Hit points neck on neck. And the focus fire is spread out. Like Aiki is getting focused, still alive though. But S1K tracked in the middle. Probably the next one to go down after Aiki. Is he actually going to get away there? It looks like. Raid Naker just got deleted still. Alu also, half of his hit points only remaining. For Evergreen still trying to shield. No, he is going for the push onto Alufolia. And he will be able to take him out quite soon. But it might need him 2 more shots, which is not too good for him. But actually, Ritty has gained an advantage. They have gained the upper hand here, with the 50 Bs putting out their clips very effectively. Still being alive. This one will go to Ritty. I'm sure about that. 2k hit points more on the field for Ritty here. And the 50 Bs, especially that late in the game, super helpful here, as they can just roll in and clip out one tank after another. Naro is the last man standing, but he won't survive for too much longer. Set up on fire. There he goes. Really nice game here by Ritty. Almost falling for that trap, yet in the last second deciding to not chase down the IS-7s and go for this very nice push onto OG in the middle of the map there. Really well done. And the 50 Bs here really working out. Look at this damage, 4,700 for Debated Rose. And Debated Skiller also putting out another 3.5k. Really well played here. It is Yukon again, and Raid is picking a Vikas this time, trying to get some mobility advantage, which will eventually cost them the hit point advantage, but maybe they will be able to get some map control because of this. Taking a medium or light tank in the current meta does have like huge pros and cons, and it's very hard to tell if it is actually worth it going for a bit more map control and mobility for losing about 600 hit points in comparison to or even 800 in comparison to a heavy tank. But the DPM is of course also mentionable, and a Vikas is not that easy to get for a slow tank like a 60 TP or even IS-7. but the Vickers might just get ignored. Will be interesting to see how this Vickers is going to work out for Raid here. I don't know, we will see, because Yukon is certainly quite a big map, and if you are able to go for the caps, go for the early spots, you might have a slight advantage over the enemy team quite early already. Ritty ditching the 50Bs that would have been perfect medium killers in theory, but it will not be easy for the Vickers to penetrate those enemies here. Also the IS-7s are probably fast enough to still be very dangerous to the Vickers. Will be very interesting here. Raid still having an advantage of 1 point over Ritty, yet the advantage is not as big anymore as it has been, and Ritty has definitely an option of winning this one still. Let's see. The Vickers is most likely going to spot the medium flank, while Ritty is deciding to move into the city. They could possibly get A and B. Nope, they are not going into the city. They are going for the medium side, or somewhere in the middle. I don't know. They will have the Vickers to their flank, and it will be very hard to get this Vickers. Forever Green going for a very aggressive move here. Oh, sorry. Wanted to click over there. Forever Green just pushing into the rear of all those 60Ps, getting in the first shot, bouncing one. What an aggressive play here by Ritty. Will they be able to make this push work? They are still trying to push out Raid OG here. There comes Debated from the side. OG is left as a one shot here. Will not survive for too much longer, but also Debated Skidler is down to a one shot, or close to that at least. And Raid is struggling here a lot. They have already lost the first tank. They have lost their hit point advantage. Ammo rack here of Alufolie still. That can be huge for Ritty. They can possibly already have a huge advantage here. 2k hit points in the favor of Ritty, and Naro is about to get focused down quite soon. There he goes. Gun advantage definitely to Ritty here. S1K about to get focused next. He is not going to survive for too much longer. And the Vickers probably not able to get into the fight too much here, as he would just get focused quite easily. He has to be very careful about this. He is basically out of the fight for the whole time right now. He could put out some shots from the rear, but he can't move into the fight, with Ritty just having an absolute advantage here of guns and hit points. Really nice comeback here. A lot of aggressive play by Ritty. Really well done. It will be only about farming those last tanks down now. Ritty can probably not really mess this one up still, but they have not absolutely won it. Favor 69 is also one shot. Where is Favor? Where is Favor? Where is he? Oh, there he is. I was seeing him on the minimap. Favor 69 being a one shot. It would be crucial for Raid to get this one, but they are not able to do so. Losing another tank for that. And the Vickers still trying to put out some last damage from behind. Yet that is not really going to help here. Falcon trying to get off some last shot into the at one of Favor 69 in the best case, but that is not going to work out anymore. Nelka can not afford to get into the fight here. Getting the nice kill shot of Favor, probably with an HE, as it was definitely enough. But there is nothing that he can do about this at this point. And I actually forgot to switch the scenes, but never mind, you could see the game. That's all that counts. What a great game here by Ritty. Tiebreaker now. What an awesome comeback. Ritty not losing their nerves here and just performing as well as they possibly could. Really aggressive gameplay here. I really love to see this one. Very brave move through the middle of the map at the risk of getting crossfired by this Vickers light tank. But the Vickers was not able to spot this push too soon. Raid was completely surprised on this game to suddenly have some IS-7s in their rear. Rockfield will be our next game, and this one is definitely going to be the last one. Only one of them can win this one. It is a very symmetrical map, which is definitely helpful for this game. And it will be all or nothing. Either team could win this one, either team could lose it and drop out of the tournament. It's just all about one game now. Ritty might be going for the 268 here. Interesting choice. Losing some hit points for having some more DPM. And I don't know if the 268 would be the best call here, because yeah, a 60TP can basically do the same job while having 1000 hit points more, almost, or 800 hit points more, and being a lot more versatile in the later stages of the game. But Raid is also going for the Vickers light tank, but that means that Ritty will not really have the option of going too aggressive with the 268. They will be stuck in a corner. They can't really push in. Raid will have the early information about the positions of Ritty if the Vickers is able to go for a good spot. And then Raid might take the cap advantage, not have to push in. And if Raid is not having to push into Ritty, then the 268 might be completely useless to the Ritty team. We will see. I guess Ritty does have something in mind with the 268, most likely the typical TD position, but that might not be the best option really. Will be interesting to see whether this one is going to work out. A lot of IS-7s actually for Ritty on the field. Ooh. Hit point advantage of about 600 in favor of Raid, but that is about one shot worth of hit points for the 268. Will be very interesting to see whether this is going to work out. Raid only sending the Vickers over to the A side. Vickers not spotting up anything. He will be able to take A for free. 268 already spotted here. Will he get shot here? That's the question. Good spot by the Vickers. Ritty just being very passive so far. What a bait here. They got spotted. They are moving in now. They lose a few more hit points. That is not looking good for Ritty. They already lost a ton of hit points here for not gaining any advantage. But S1K and Falcon are possible weak spots to push onto. Favor is going in first. He just in first while leaving the low hit point Dizzy behind, which is just the absolute right call. There goes the first one. S1K is the first one to die actually. 268 getting chased down by Naka here in his Vickers, who can now HE the rear of the 268 here. That will be very interesting to see this one. I guess the 268 is already close to being a one shot here, or two shots at least. But Ritty still pushing in. They have the absolute gun advantage, yet not the hit point advantage. And there goes the gun advantage as well. Ike also being a one shot, Favor being a one shot. It is not looking too well here for Ritty, as Favor is about to go down as well. And they have very healthy tanks right in front of them. 3 versus 4 here. And Ritty is just not being able to hold up this massive push here by Raid with their passive strat with the 268 already being pushed off the hill early on. That was absolutely not working out for Ritty. I don't know what they had in mind with their strat of leaving 1268 basically out of the fight on the other side of the map. The Vickers could just spot him up quite soon, and it was absolutely not helpful to have this 268 on the field here. Would it have been a heavy tank, it would have survived much longer, would have had much better chances against the Vickers. Also with the rest of Ritty going for one side, but facing the raid team, losing a lot of hit points while having the hit point deficit at the start already, and just not being able to push in successfully here. Having some good focus fire, managing to take out 2 guns quite early, yet it was absolutely not enough because of their hit point deficit here. Well played by Raid. I would really... yeah, I don't know. The strat did absolutely not convince me here. I gotta be honest about that. But well played to actually both of the teams. Especially on the games before. I would really love to see those Ritty strats on this tournament. I hope to see more of Ritty also in the future. If they keep up like this with those kind of strats. Might be very interesting to see. But Raid just dominating here in the end. And just taking this one home. Raid is still in the tournament. They will get to the next stage. While Ritty is out of the tournament at this point. Thanks Ritty for participating. And my condolences for dropping out. And congratulations to Raid for getting into the next stage. It's actually the same stage but a different day. But Raid still has a chance to get into the finals now. GG's to both teams here. Very close in the end. Really very close. And okay, that is it for live battles at this point here. So I want to thank you all already for watching the stream. But we are not ending here. If you are interested to see some further analysis still of these last games, just a quick look at what was actually causing the defeat or the win, then stick around for a bit longer because that is what I promise to deliver on each stream. But yeah, so far already thanks for coming, and I hope you enjoyed this one. And I hope some more people are still sticking around for a bit. So, give me a second. I am just opening the stream again. So that we can have a closer look at those battles here. Okay. Got the stream opened. Let's just skip that advertisement and get back to the battles. What was our first map actually? First map was Winter Malinovka. Ah, yeah, the push. Okay, I cannot press C for free cam while just replaying my stream. It does not work like that, and also I quickly have to switch the scene again so that you can see. Again, big thanks to the main sponsors and every donator of the prize pool of this tournament. You are making this possible in the first place. And okay, it was the bait strat here by Ritty. They have done this bait quite a few times already. Raid was committing a lot of tanks for taking out this one guy. That means they committed they committed 4 tanks to pushing out 1, which was maybe a little bit too much. Maybe 3 would have been enough here. They still tried to cap A, and it was not really a cap game at this time. I think this was a huge mistake here, peeking out like this. He could have just stayed safe and not lose any hit points, because he really needed to survive for as long as possible to allow the others to move in to help out. Hit point already 2k in the favor of Ritty here, because they simply had 3 tanks to push onto in this area, while there was only 1 tank to push onto for Raid on the other side of the map. Raid had to lose some hit points while crossing over there. Did not have more than 2.7k hit points in front of them with the IS-7, while there were 3 tanks left behind here that Ritty could just shoot with the 6 tanks that they had there. Also, Ritty had some good crossfire, and yeah, we could see the other tanks, the IS-7s, in the end from Raid trying to move around to support this area, but they were just out of the fight for quite a long time. Going into the middle was probably not the best option either, but it was just not really working out in that way. Next game was the corner brawl here, which Raid actually managed to decide in their favor. Ritty fielding the 50B, and it was kind of looking like, if we are pausing here, look at this. Raid is having 2 tanks very far from the fight. Ritty having most of their tanks in a very close formation. They probably had an advantage here, and it was looking like they were really able to just take out Loka by just taking a couple of shots from the other IS-7s. Also, IS-7s don't have the best DPM, so it seemed fine. Yet it was not really working out, and I was not really understanding what was actually going on here. I mean, Loka got shot down, Favor missing the kill shot, but Raid still had a total hit point advantage. And look how many tanks from Ritty actually bled hit points here on this push at this point already. Ritty just kept bleeding, and maybe that was a little mistake here of pushing forward like this into the crossfire, because now there are those 3 tanks crossfiring, and Falcon could rather be ignored here by Ritty if they decided to just take out the IS-7 in the corner and then turn towards the middle. Maybe that would have been better, because they could just take cover behind these rocks here in this area and shoot everyone that is in the middle. Maybe OG, maybe Alu, without really overextending into Falcon, because Falcon would have been out of the fight for quite some time before reaching the others. It would have been like 20 seconds, 30 seconds until Falcon would have been able to shoot again if Ritty did not push into him. And it would have been a significant advantage to Ritty for quite some time. But here the hit points are already highly in the favor of Raid, and there was nothing that Ritty could really do about it anymore. So let's skip forward to the next battle, because this one is already over. It was the very nice city strat from Ritty here, which sadly did not work out. We have seen that strat quite some times already, actually. Or similar strats, famously played by 7 stars, probably also others, but 7 stars was the team that I've seen playing this strat first. They took some Kranwagens, double Kranwagen into this area to be hull down over there, which is the same position as on the other side. There they also took Kranwagens, and they had a mouse on top and some mouses in the city and stuff. And Ritty went for a very similar strat here. They managed to take the A cap, they managed to take the B cap, and they still had their bait on the hill, but their bait was clearly not working out, because that bait could just get shot down from different angles without really having to overcommit. As long as Raid did not decide to really push in, the 50Bs could not focus one tank or the other, and the clips were not as useful as they could be if they had one tank in front of them. Running out of water. Okay, give me a second. I really need some water. Cable getting stuck here. Okay, let's just skip forward a little bit. Maybe. I think we can do that. Also, we can just play a bit of music in the background again. Yeah, that was the game-winning move by Ritty here. That they did not push in here. They just overpeaked like this. They could just peek out, shoot. One or the other tank would have to take some shots, like Falcon would have to take some shots, Raid OG would also take some shots. In some seconds, Alu took some shots, but they could split up their hit points, while Ritty was having those two tanks very isolated that could get focused here. What could have worked here for Ritty was to just ignore all those tanks on the top here, and just push down into the city and just try to... First of all, there is one I7 on A, which was S1K, I believe. Ritty could just roll in, kill S1K, make sure they keep the city, keep the hit points, keep the cap points, keep the bases, and they could try to then still try to take out Concept 1B Loka here. That would have been a nice move, actually, if the 50Bs just rotated around here. And if they would have just given up these two tanks, like these two tanks here, they could not really be saved. Of course, the main goal of the bait was to just punish everyone overpeaking, but Raid really played this out in a clever way, which did not allow Ritty to really punish that. So they had to do something else, and that would have been just killing S1K, killing those three tanks. You can see on the minimap there are 3 tanks alone. It would have been hard to get all of them, but Ritty could have tried to take out 2, maybe even 3. They were in bad positions, although they could get some help from above. Ritty would have probably just rather focused out these tanks first. So if Ritty was fast, they could just focus out 3 tanks and still sit back on the double cap. I think that would have helped Ritty win this game in the end here. They did not do so and rather try to farm a bit, and it was not really working out here for Ritty. Okay, next game, also Middleburg again. Quality, please stay on 1080p. Even if I skip forward, I would rather wait than have bad quality on my stream here. Would actually also be nice if I could just turn off this bar here, but I guess I can't. I can't, okay. This time it was, it was the time that Forever Green tried to go for a very aggressive B cap, and he was now getting shot down so hard. That was hurting. And Ritty, I don't know why they were so slow. Why were they so much slower than Raid? Raid was already very close to C, and they even had an IS-4, which is absolutely not known for its tremendous speed. Why were Ritty guys so slow? If Ritty already had these tanks closer to C, they could immediately counter push C, kill those tanks on top of the hill here, as they knew that there were some IS-7s down. Or they could have just decided to ignore the hill and just move down here into the city, kill those IS-7s down there, but they would have lost a lot of hit points. I guess moving up would have been a safer call to just give up for Evergreen. The 50B that was here in the city was quick enough to still run away. Ritty would have lost 1 tank. If those tanks were faster, I really don't get why they were so freaking slow. I don't know, maybe they tried to go for a shootout earlier. Let's check that. Why were they so slow? Look at Raid being almost on top of the hill already. Like halfway up. Is Ritty stopping there? Yeah. Ritty is trying to go for a bait here. With this one tank being alone on top, but it was not really worth it. Look at that. What they had on mind. I get it, what they had in mind. They were trying to just take A, B, give C to Raid, and leave this tank alone in front, so that Raid would think they would have the option of just pushing him. So Raid would just go in, and then they were all behind, and then they could all rush in and punish Raid for pushing in there. But what the mistake about, the little flaw about this strat is that this tank is also very isolated here. And no one is able to cover him except for 150B. And this 150B, yeah, it is not really like a lot of cover, you know. But maybe also Ritty hoped for Raid to think that they were all in the city, because they took 2 bases at the same time and those guys remained unspotted. So Raid could possibly think it would not be worth it to push the city and rather push the upper side, because they would expect everyone to be down. I guess also as this IS-7 was quite far in front, yeah, it was already like, it could be expected that this one was a bait. Like, you would not have like one tank that aggressive in the front if he was completely alone. And that could possibly tell Raid already what was going on there. But okay. This one was clearly not working out yet. Ritty was almost still winning this game in the end. Not exactly, but almost. Okay, let me quickly check something. Got tagged here. Anything important? Anything important? Schedule for tomorrow. Tomorrow we will have... Wait. Saturday. No, I won't be streaming tomorrow. But... So tomorrow will be rolling only on a stream. With Fidget as an analyst. And on Sunday, which is then the final of the whole tournament, the grand final, rolling will stream again, and I will be the analyst right after the battle. So let's still see what was going on the last battles here, because Ritty was winning them. It was the 50B push on this time. And these IS-7s really just moved away right at the wrong moment. But S1K actually did a really nice job of just avoiding the 50Bs here. Just moving around the corner on time. Not allowing the 50Bs to find any weak spot here. So the 50Bs would just lose some hit points. But S1K also moved away from his teammates, which allowed the 50Bs to be quicker in the city here than him. And there was some really nice focus fire on OG, although it was split up. Like, it felt like actually there were quite a few games where the focus fire got split on the side of Ritty. Maybe they have to work on that a little bit. But hard to tell in the end. I think really having those 50Bs here was super helpful for Ritty. Also, they have 1k hit point advantage here. And yeah, 50Bs in such a fight can be very helpful for clipping out tanks if you are able to cover those 50Bs and still put out some effective damage without just putting out random damage and if the 50Bs are stuck in the open somewhere, then yeah, of course, they are not the best in a brawl kind of situation in every scenario. So let's skip forward. This move was already game deciding. Next one was that... Oh, that was way too far. Next one was that very clever push by Ritty. Very nice push here from Ritty. Just immediately deleting base C. With the IS-7s, the Vickers did not spot them up. He did not get the spot on Forever Green, surprisingly. Nope. Forever Green now getting spotted by only by the heavy tanks. And if you are checking the minimap, there are some heavies on A. 2 heavies are on A, which are out of the fight. The Vickers is out of the fight. That means 3 tanks out of the fight. 4 tanks in the middle here. And Ritty is in the middle with 7 tanks. That means 7 versus 4 effectively, which allowed them to quite easily focus out a lot of tanks without suffering too much for that. And that was already it for Raid here, as Ritty could just steamroll them. Really nice strat, really aggressive gameplay here. Raid was absolutely not prepared for this one. And yeah, the last game, I really have no clue what was going on here. Just look at those positions. I was not happy about this game. I would have rather seen something else as the last game here. Ritty being in this corner with 6 heavies, having 268 on the hill that already got spotted by the Vickers, and that is absolutely no new strat by Raid. Raid is not going for like super creative, super special strats that might absolutely surprise you. They are mostly going for something that has been played by them or other teams before. Very solid stuff. All tanks on one side except for one Vicker spotting the other. Yeah. Still Ritty being stuck in this little corner here. What were they trying to do with having everyone in this corner and not a single spotter for the 268 over there on A? I don't quite get this. Maybe they were just trying to bait Raid here. They were trying to stay unspotted and hoping for Raid to push in here so that the 268 could farm. Or they could counter push, but they counter pushed. The 268 was absolutely useless because Ritty pushed forward. 268 could not help at all. Would now get chased by the Vickers. Does 268... I don't know what Ritty had in mind with that. It was really not working out here. Absolutely not. And I could not see like the point of it. Nice bounce here. In the end, not announcing the kill shot here, which would have been great. 268 could just get farmed with HEs by the Vickers. Maybe he needed to turn around a bit earlier already to not just get deleted too easily here. And still delete some hit points off that Vickers. And here there is already a 1.5k hit point advantage to Raid, which Ritty can't really turn around anymore because their positions are absolutely not better. They are having a lot of low hit point tanks right in front of Raid, while Raid has very healthy tanks here right in front of Ritty, that Ritty somehow had to decide to push on to, had to somehow clear. They could not just turn around. But okay. Still nice games by Ritty. I really enjoyed those strats that Ritty has shown to us there. Sadly, not every strat was working out, especially not the last one. Raid just managed to win with some very basic solid play there and showed that going for what worked in the past will also work in the future. And they have just, easily outplayed Ritty at this point. Although Raid was definitely the favorite for winning this match, I would have actually loved to see Ritty just take this home just because Ritty was showing some very creative strats here, and just, yeah, I like to see like some teams mixing up the tournament scene a little bit by doing something that is not done by everyone else, you know? It just makes it a lot more fun to watch when you see such pushes and such hyper-aggressive gameplay, but sometimes also those bait strats, and Ritty was still winning with them. It was really nice to see that. Alright. Thanks for watching, everyone. If there is still anyone here, just a few people are still here. I'm just saying, okay. But that's fine. Hope you still enjoyed that analysis part. I think to some it might be like worth watching. To others, it is just not as interesting as some live gameplay under a lot of tension, and that's I guess, yeah, sure, live gameplay is more exciting, but I think like there is not much of that analysis kind of stuff out there. So I hope you appreciate it. You appreciate the efforts that I put in there. I mean, I could just show replays or end the stream early. I don't know what others are actually doing in the breaks now, if they are showing replays. Also had quite a lot of breaks today. But okay. Thanks for watching, everyone. And don't forget to smash that like button before leaving. So much about that for today, or from my side. Tomorrow I will not be streaming. You will be only able to see rolling stream the last 2 days, but you will find me as the analyst of the second day on the grand final there. I hope you're going to see that one as well. Thanks for watching. See you soon. Goodbye.